This is Ryan with Texas United Realty. I'm going to go over the SUPRA box and the SUPRA key. So not to be confused, there's a SUPRA key that's an app on your phone, and then this is a SUPRA box. So you have to pay for the SUPRA box itself. You pay for that at HAR. You can pick it up at any HAR store. The app, there is a quarterly and there is a yearly fee, I believe, on it. And the app allows you access to the SUPRA boxes. So yes, as a real estate agent, you do need a SUPRA app, even if you don't have any listings, or even if you don't even own a SUPRA box, because you need to access the SUPRA boxes when you're showing houses. Now, there's not an annual or quarterly fee for both. You pay for the fee for having the SUPRA on your phone to HAR. You pay, I believe, a quarterly and an annual fee, and there's a one-time fee to purchase the box. I believe it's around $130 to $140 per box. Now, to access the box, so let's say you take a listing. You ask Mr. and Mrs. Seller for a key. They give you a key. You need to put that on the door, obviously after the listing agreement is signed. Now, in order to put it on the door, you use your app. Since you have paid for the services of SUPRA through HAR.com, you use their app, and this app is only for you. You are not to share it with anybody else, even any other realtors. Now, I use the app to open the shackle and to also to put a key in there. You do the same thing if you were to show it. You would have to put a key in there, or you have to open it for showings. So this is going to show you both. So I'm on my app. It's the SUPRA app. HAR will show you how to download the app after you've paid for it, of course. I'm going to hit Open Shackle. Well, first, there's one thing that you need to know. If it says Update, there's going to be an X across it. That means you need to hit the Update button. You need to click it because it has to be updated, usually once every other day. I've already updated mine, so I don't need to do that. It won't work if it needs an update. I'm going to hit the Open Shackle, which is right here. I'm not going to show you my code because everybody has their own unique code. You set that up through HAR. I already typed in my code. Select a reason. You're going to say adding on a new listing right there. Hit done. It's going to ask for the house number or the MLS number. So I'm going to make up 123. That's because it's trying to identify which house that you're putting it on. You can reuse these, by the way. Obviously, if you get another listing and you've sold it, you would just transfer it to your new listing once your other one is sold. So I'm going to hit save. Do you want it in your inventory? Always click yes, because you want to be able to make sure in your system that this is linked to your listing on 123 Main Street, for example. Hit begin. You need to make sure your Bluetooth is on. It's telling you that. And you need to hit the bottom of the lockbox. That wakes it up, like hitting the home button on an iPad. Okay? It's saying opening the shackle. It's saying compress the shackle to begin. So once you compress it, it bounces off. Now I can put it on my, pretend this is the front door. It's going to stay on the door. So if your sellers are not happy with it being on the front door because it's inconveniencing the way they open the door, then maybe you can put it on the iron fence or the bib hose next to the door or on the side of the house. Now take in mind, this cost you what, $140? So you don't want anybody stealing that. Now, how come other agents can't just take my lockbox off? Because they don't know your shackle code. Your shackle code is unique to only you. Okay? How come a consumer can't take my lockbox or take the key out of the lockbox? Because it's secured on the door and they don't have a SUPRA key because they're not real estate agents. So Now, if you don't know my shackle code, so the only access you're gonna get is getting the key out of the lockbox if you were to show my listing. So let's pretend you're showing my listing, or I need to put the key in the lockbox because the homeowner, I asked for a spare key. Take in mind, you need a spare key. Don't take the homeowner's key. Ask for a spare. If they don't have a spare, maybe you need to take a trip to Home Depot and make a spare. So, I'm gonna click obtain key. Pretend I'm showing this house. I'm at the door. I had the appointment because I made it through the showing service. I'm on time. The clients are coming. I'm gonna open the key, the shackles, the drop box, so that I can show the property. Pretend the key is in there already. I'm gonna hit my unique code that's only to my Supra app. You will have your own unique code. It's usually a 4-digit code. That way, in case someone were to steal my phone and somehow access my information, they still can't utilize this because they don't know my code. Don't give the code out to anybody. Now, one more thing. You need to wake it up. Remember, like hitting the home button on your iPad, click the bottom of the box. That wakes it up. It's talking to it now because I just woke it up. You need to hold your phone kind of close. It says successful. You press the bottom of the box hard and let it fall. Then I take the key and then I open the door according to the showing instructions. Now, the homeowner, let's go back, I'm the listing agent. They gave me the key. I already have my listing agreement signed and dated. I'm going to put the spare key in here. Now, other agents and me can show this house. Obviously, if the seller approved the appointment. So, that gives you a basic rundown. Now, let me say this. You're saying, while we're going over what to ask the homeowner, obviously you're going to ask them for a spare key. Obviously you're going to bring your yard sign when you come, because now I've got the key. Let's pretend I already got the appointment already, the listing agreement's already signed along with all the addendums. I'm getting the key. My photographer's scheduled. I'm gonna bring my yard sign. Let me caution you, the yard sign cannot go into the yard unless you have it on MLS. But wait a minute, I don't have my pictures yet. I understand that. You can put it on MLS as coming soon as long as your listing agreement is signed and dated, and you can put your yard sign in the yard. If you don't have it on MLS as coming soon, you cannot put up your yard sign. That's gonna have to be another trip, okay? Obviously, if it's already on MLS, then you can put the yard sign up. So typically I'll have it on coming soon. I got the yard sign in the ground. I've got the key in the lockbox, and my photographer is probably already scheduled to come out and take photos. Now, as far as the fees, I was going to talk about real quick. Your Supra is going to come through an automatic charge if you allow it on your credit card. Take this lesson to the bank. On all your automatic charges, or all you go out to eat and you have a meal, you need to talk to your CPA. But all your write-offs need to be on a separate credit card, separate from your personal items, separate from your own personal bills, because it's a lot easier to track your taxes, your write-offs for your taxes, if it's on a separate credit card. Then you can just use that bank statement to figure out what your CPA says you can write off. So, go back. I'm at my listing appointment. I already got the key, the sign. I'm going to ask my seller a couple of things. I'm going to say, hey, this would be a great book to use an example, okay? This I'm going to leave at my property, typically on the table or on the kitchen counter. Why? Because this will give you the buyer all the good information they might need to make a decision on purchasing that property. So my business card is going to go there. I'm going to stick my business card on here, and it's a magnet, so I'm going to stick that on the refrigerator because I want the seller to always have my information. I'm going to stick the good information in here. like the survey, especially the exclusions list. If there's anything that's on the exclusion on the 1 to 4 family contract, on the first page it talks about exclusions. If there's anything that they want to exclude from the sale, you need to go ahead and write it down and put it in here. It also needs to be on the contract, but the buyers need to know about it up front. Okay? The survey's another good idea to put in here. The tax records, the seller's disclosures, the MUD form, any upgrades they might have done, or repairs they might have done. Any insurance claims would be good. You have to disclose that. That'd be good to go ahead and put in here too. And any information about flooding, if they have flood insurance, and maybe that policy could be in here as well. And then utility information would be another thing to put in here. So without going into too much further detail on that, I want to throw in this as a bonus. Open house. Here's a cool open house registry, guest registry. By the way, I bought these at har.com at their store. Pretty nifty. I did not put any of this together. This was the way I bought it. They gave me a cool open house flyer, and open house people that come in, they can register, and I can obtain that lead if they're not working with another realtor. I always put the information about brokerage services though right next to it, and I always put the information about brokerage services in this booklet. This is another good idea real quick. If I'm doing an open house, and obviously I'm going to be there set up on a table with my guest registry in my IABS. I'm going to also have my iPad right here. I'm going to have my connection cord to the HDMI plugged into my iPad. My photographer gives me a slideshow of all the pictures after he's done on a link. I attach that link to HAR, to my MLS in Matrix, but I also have that playing on my TV through my iPad when I'm doing the open house. It just sets a better presence. Make sure you also attach any information about flood. Also attach the MUD and the seller's disclosure to the MLS attachments, please. That's where I also attach the exclusion list, and that's where I also attach the upgrades that they have done. So I hope that kind of gets you started, kind of shows you about the Super Key and kind of my layout when I'm taking over a listing. And until next time.